Hey there, SnapFlash fam. Today we're talking about a quiet but historic shift inside one of Botswana's most powerful institutions, the military. The Botswana Defence Force has just changed how justice works within its ranks. Courts, prosecutors, appeals to the High Court, inside the army. The BDF has officially launched a military justice system, and this could redefine discipline, accountability, and rights for every soldier in uniform. Before we break it down, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell, because this is where national institutions meet public interest. Launched at the BDF barracks in Mogoditshane, the new military justice system follows years of legal reform that began with the BDF Act Review Committee. The old military legal structure dated back to 1977. Officials say it no longer matched modern legal standards, raising concerns about independence, fairness, and procedural safeguards. Reforms led to BDF Act No. 3 of 2018, laying the legal foundation for a system that is now fully operational. The message from the Judge Advocate General was clear. Justice in the military must now be fair, predictable, and independent.
Today marks a significant milestone in the evolution of the Botswana Defence Force. This follows the commissioning of the BDF Act Review Committee, which was put together by the then Commander, BDF, Lieutenant General Ketlogetswe, recognizing that the BDF Act of 1977, which had of course served us well until then, was now proving to be behind time in terms of its alignment with the contemporary advancement of both law and other procedures. This exercise led to the repulsion and reenactment of the BDF Act No. 3 of 2018. In that exercise, while attention was distributed through all aspects of the defense law, some special attention was directed to the military justice system, which by then had already been criticized for lack of independence and other tenets of justice. In particular, the old law centralized the controls on the commander to determine which case goes to court, to appoint the prosecutor, appoint members of the court, appoint an officer to defend the accused person, appoint reporters, interpreters, and ultimately designate an officer to preside as the judge advocate. Apart from the fact that the court, as constituted thereunder, was marred with conflicts of interest and lack of independence, this system encumbered the commander with matters that are not command matters in their shape and form. It was found ideal that the commander be relieved of these legal functions and allowed to focus on building defense force capability and readiness and execute his command responsibility accordingly. This was reflected in the law as promulgated in 2018, subsequent to which an exercise was also commissioned to align the rules and regulations with the Act, with other pieces of legislation and other observations made by judges during their hearing of appeals and review of cases emanating from the court-martial. These were signed, the rules of procedure. They were signed into law by the President of the Republic in December and were published just yesterday on the 26th of January 2026, this year, to give them legal efficacy.
What's new and why it matters? Under the new framework, allegations can be reported through commanders, military police, or internal affairs. Investigations carry powers similar to civilian policing. Cases go to an independent Director of Military Prosecutions. Trials happen through court-martial processes. Appeals can go all the way to the High Court. Serious sentences are carried out in civilian prisons. This means military justice is no longer an isolated system. It now operates in step with civilian courts, the Attorney General, DPP, police, and prison services. That's a major shift toward transparency. Chief Justice Ketlogetswe, who officiated the launch, didn't mince words. He said rule of law, fairness, and accountability are not optional in military justice. They are the foundation of discipline and public trust. His message: without fairness, discipline becomes oppression. Without accountability, authority loses legitimacy. That's a powerful statement, especially coming from the head of the judiciary.
It is a profound privilege to stand before you today as we witness the formal launch of the military justice system of the Botswana Defence Force under the office of the Judge Advocate General, strengthening the framework established by the Botswana Defence Force Act of 2018. And I bring warm greetings from the bench, that is the High Court for the Administration of Justice, and I bring a single and simple message that the rule of law, fairness, and accountability are not optional extras in uniform. They are the very foundations of disciplined service and public trust. I commend General Mpho, the commander of the Botswana Defence Force, for his visionary leadership in championing this initiative under our institution, which guarantees fundamental rights, including the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to security of the person, and protection of the law for every individual, including those in uniform. And I think this is an opportune juncture where we should all recall the inspirational speech of General Mophuting in his acceptance speech at the change of guard ceremony when he took over from Lieutenant General Ketlogetswe as the new commander of the Defence Force. One of his 5 strategic priorities was stated as follows, and I wish to quote. Second, we shall continue to modernize and expand our defense capabilities, resources permitting. But modernization must be people-centric. Our greatest asset is not machinery. It is the men and women who wear the uniform of the Republic. We will therefore put the welfare of our soldiers first, ensuring that the fundamentals of service reflect dignity and pride. Third, we shall continue to reform and implement the military justice system. Discipline without justice is tyranny. We will continue to reform our laws, modernize our procedures, and ensure that fairness and accountability define our internal governance. Justice within the force must be swift, transparent, and impartial. And for justice is the lifeblood of discipline, close quote.
The reform also aligns with BDF Commander General Mophuting's vision for institutional modernization. The commander has stressed that the military's greatest asset is not equipment, but its people. The new justice system is meant to ensure discipline, yes, but also dignity and legal protection for soldiers, regardless of rank. The ceremony included the swearing-in of 6 JAG officers and drew high-profile dignitaries, including the United States ambassador.
Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Kwandia Sabutusi, kindly recite the oath before you.
I, Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Cornelius Kabutusi, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Botswana, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of Botswana as by law established. So help me God.
Signature.
From this moment, these officers are bound not only by rank and appointment, but by conscience and law. The pinning of the Judge Advocate General badge that follows gives visible expression to that commitment. May I request all the recipients of the OJAG badge to come forward to await the pinning of the badge. The members represent the leadership of the OJAG, the non-commissioned officer corps, as well as the non-uniformed members of the office.
The BDF acknowledged U.S. support in helping develop the system, signaling that Botswana's defense reforms are also part of broader international standards.
The Botswana Defence Force equally records its sincere appreciation to the government of the United States of America for the technical assistance provided during the drafting of the Botswana Defence Force Act 2018, and for the valued advisory support extended in respect of certain regulations that remained under development. As we move into the implementation phase, we do so mindful that the credibility of this military justice system will ultimately be measured by its fair, consistent, and impartial application. We therefore value the continued engagement, guidance, and oversight of the judiciary and the legal fraternity as essential partners in sustaining legality, public confidence, and institutional integrity.
So here's the big question. Does this reform strengthen both discipline and democracy? Or will implementation be the real test of whether fairness truly reaches the lower ranks? Drop your thoughts below, like the video, and subscribe to SnapFlash for deeper stories about how Botswana's institutions are evolving. This is more than a military update. It's a signal that justice inside the barracks must now meet the same standards as justice outside them. Discipline and democracy, working together, not against each other. And that's a defining moment for the BDF. This is SnapFlash. Keep questioning, stay informed.